The other thing I wanted to point out is that there is something about this type of a sermon, and maybe the other ones as well, but this type of a message, where you may think it was about you. You may think that I'm calling you out, or that it was something that happened that you and I know about that other people maybe didn't know, and that somehow I'm calling you out in public or something. You are correct. But you're also not correct. In other words, if you see yourself in the message you were supposed to, but you're not correct in that I had absolutely nobody in mind when I said anything that I said. This is Yeshua's main objective, his biggest desire, and that's what the Torah is for, the community living is for. All of these things are to bring together one thing, unity. The unity like the Father has with the Son. That is the purpose of this whole thing. That's what the forever kingdom is going to look like. A whole lot of people who can understand how to be one like the Father and Son are one. So envy, strife, and division of body indicates that we are still fleshly. Now, we don't have the time to get into this, but we probably will at some point go through some of Paul's writings where Shaul is talking about the fleshly versus the spirit. And it's not what the Pentecostals and Charismatics have taught you in this sort of ethereal, ooey-gooey thing of the spirit. It's simply a mindset. When you behave, think, and act like the world, that's fleshly. When you behave, think, and act like the Father and the Son, that is spiritual. So let's listen to this again. Love, joy, peace, patience, etc. It's not talking about just when everything is wonderful. Because most of us, we have a few of us that were weaned on a pickle. That's different. You walk around, all sour-faced, okay? But most of us have these things when life is going well. If your passions are leading you instead of you being in control of your passions, then you can end up in all these fleshly places. You should be very passionate about everything Abba's doing. But that's something you can consciously control and be aware of that you can be passionate about. But it's when your passions are stirred up, that's where we get very angry or very jealous or very you can lust after things that are not just flesh, like people. You could be lusting after information, after whatever, food, there's a million things you could be lusting after. Your passions are stirred up. We become emotionally invested in the idea or in the concept, and that's why we get angry. Because now that we've emotionally invested ourselves, not agreeing with me means you're not agreeing with me. Now you're rejecting me, you see? Instead of not agreeing with what I said, now you're not agreeing with me. Now it's personal. You're rejecting and arguing against me because I've now emotionally bonded with this thing, with this idea, with this behavior, with whatever it is. I've bonded with it. So now it and me, whatever the item is, we're not separable. We're completely connected. You see how that could be the problem? Please don't send anybody anything they've not asked for. Don't send YouTube videos. Don't send written teachings. We're going to have to compete with the rain here. Don't send anything that has not been requested. So what you can do is say to somebody, I have something I'd like you to see or watch or read. Would it be okay if I send it to you? A selfless person, selfless, not selfish, selfless person cannot, in big bold letters, cannot be offended. So don't think you're selfless if you're still possible for you to be offended by something. That you are not over the selfish issues. There's still any area in your life where you may still be offended means that you have too much self still in that area. All relationships are relationships. And how you treat one, you probably also treat others. So whatever relationship you're not very good at, you're probably also not good at other relationships in similar ways. And what does that cause? Division in whatever relationship you're in. The tools that work for unity work in all relationships. The things that cause division in all relationships. Any of you ever been pushed and badgered by anybody on a particular spiritual concept? You don't have to raise your hands. Any of you, have you done that to anybody? We do that. We do that. It needs to stop if the body is going to come into unity. It's a huge, roadblock to unity. Is this behavior, this mindset. This is not the mindset of Yeshua. This is not the mindset of the Spirit. Most of what we try to do is his responsibility, not ours. In other words, it falls into the relationship of the Father or the Son. They must do the eye opening, ear opening, the heart changing. They have to do the drawing. They have to do the instructing. We jump into their role. So forget that I know we're talking about these things like teacher and this and that. The biggest part of it is when you're stepping into their shoes.